Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to WeLoveMetal.com. We're on the phone with Jeremy Edge of the new hit band, Candlelight Red. How you doing, Jeremy?
Great.
Congratulations on the recent success. It's Closer's huge on the charts. You guys must be pretty pleased.
Yeah, definitely. We're pumped. We're really pleased.
Now, do you think this song represents what Candlelight Red is all about overall?
I think it's one little taste of it. We have songs that are a little more up-tempo or a little more aggressive, but I think it definitely does portray our basic sound.
Excellent. You guys are currently on tour with Saving Abel, getting a lot of notoriety on that tour. How's it been for you guys?
Actually, we start the tour tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to end up, we take a break in September, and then we supposedly start another leg after that. But we just got off the tour with Egypt Central and had a couple weeks at home, and we're pumped for tomorrow, and it'll be a long trip, and really excited and looking forward to it.
Good stuff. I know it's getting a lot of press. So now, from your standpoint, I mean, you guys, I know it's not an overnight success by any means, but I mean, you're really starting to get noticed. But what's the key at a show to getting people into it when they might not be completely familiar with your music yet?
Yeah, we do play a lot of cities where people might not be familiar with our music yet. You try to you want to be patient the first couple songs because they're just kind of checking out your band and what you're about. But we try to put on an aggressive, in-your-face live show, and usually the crowd, by the first or second song, are warmed up to us, and it's just like we're playing one of our hometown shows.
Excellent. Must be a pretty good feeling when you win over a crowd like that.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is.
I'm going to throw some names at you here. Disturbed, Avenged Sevenfold, Hell Yeah, Stone Sour, Buck Cherry. You guys have shared the stage with all these guys. I mean, it must be something to be around this caliber of talent. Yeah,
it's definitely been really exciting to play with some of these larger acts and acts that we've bought CDs and listened to and dug over the years. It's definitely an honor to share the stage with them, and we picked up a lot of things. Playing with the higher caliber level acts, you kind of reevaluate what you're doing and try to hone your craft and bring that same professionalism and uniqueness to what you do as well.
Definitely. Have you found that they've been willing to share their knowledge?
Yeah, actually, a lot of times we've found that most of the bands that we've worked with, that we've shared the stage with, have been very personable and very. I think the last tour, Egypt Central, John Falls during the daytime while we're setting up, would just come out and hang out with us and just share stories, and it was a really cool, relaxed environment.
Good. And you guys actually won a contest where you got to open for KISS. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The KISS contest happened last summer, and it started as an online thing through Guitar Center with online voting. And our fans just really went to town with the online voting and got us in the top 5 for the Pittsburgh show to open for KISS. And once they get the top 5, they pick the winner. The KISS camp picks the winner of the top 5 to open for them. And they picked us to open the Pittsburgh show, which was a huge honor. It was a great crowd, great stage, and they really made us feel at home and comfortable. A great show for us. And they did that in 22 cities. And then 2 months later, when the tour was all over, they picked a grand prize winner. So we got the call from Guitar Center that Gene and Paul had selected us to be the grand prize winner out of all 22 bands.
That's having those two behind you can't be a bad thing.
Oh, no, definitely not.
And, the amazing part, you guys have done this all before your full length has come out, which I believe is called The Wreckage.
Yeah, we did most of that even before we actually completed our deal. I went into the studio to do our full-length album.
And what I'll tell you is, when you guys do something, you do it right, because you're in the studio. You were in the studio with David Ivory, who I know from Halestorm. Incredible producer. It must have been something to work with somebody on his level.
Yes, it was great working with David. He really got us in there rehearsing a lot and trying new things with our songs and changing things around and making the songs more interesting from beginning to end. And and really keep the listener engaged, and took the basic thing, we already had good songs, and just made them, more exciting and more enjoyable to listen to.
Was it hard first to turn that control over? I mean, you guys have kind of guided your career to what it is.
Not really, because I think we were already prepared for that. I mean, we hadn't ever worked with a producer before, but we have, lots of friends of ours that are in signed bands and people that we've known over the years, and we know that happens. And we were actually surprised by there was a little bit less creative control. David really didn't want to change the songs too much that it took away, what we brought to the table. We had heard, stories about producers, completely turning things upside down where you couldn't recognize the songs anymore. So we were just prepared for anything, and it was actually really refreshing to work with David because he really made the songs better without taking away what was already good about them.
Excellent. Now, how would you describe the record overall?
How would I describe the record? I would say it's aggressive but very melodic and catchy. There's a darkness to it, but it's not too dark. I think it's it's got a little bit of air of mystique about it, but it's still very accessible songs, everyday life kind of stuff. And we're really proud of it. Good.
Excellent. It's good to hear that a band can get in the studio and come out with what they want. I mean, especially on your debut, that's wonderful. So, now I wanted to talk a little bit about the internet and what it means to a young band that's getting started. You guys have a big presence online. It must be flattering to connect with your fans in that way.
Yeah, definitely. The internet has changed everything, and it's really crucial on keeping people engaged, and we try to get online and talk to people, from not just our home area, but all over. It's about making friends. You want to make friends everywhere and turn them on to your music. And if they like your music and they like you, then they'll support you. But if you don't have the time today to talk to them, then if you don't have the time today to talk to them, they're not going to support your band.
It's funny because as I interview the bands that are coming up, that's what you said is generally the answer. Now, the older bands feel the internet's completely ruined music, obviously because of downloading. Do you think there's a balance that can be reached there sometime?
Yeah, I think there is a balance. I think when they say the internet ruined music, I think they're more talking about the ability to extract revenue from the music, and it has hurt that a lot. It has done a lot of damage, but there's also the other side of it where it's done a lot of good, because now music is just more accessible. You can search and find new music so easily and connect with other people who like music. It's just made the world a whole lot smaller, whereas sometimes it was really hard to get your band heard or noticed. You had to do that through newsprint or radio or through a local ad. And now, with everybody being on the internet, anybody can share a link, anybody can post a video of a band on their webpage and say, "Hey, check these guys out." So there's a lot of good things that have come about that as well.
Excellent. Just what are your personal influences, Jeremy? What got you started down this path?
What got me started, I think, just being a big music fan and wanting to, play guitar, growing up with my older sisters, they always had old records laying around with stuff like Black Sabbath and Aerosmith and Deep Purple. So, I always wanted to be like Tony Iommi or Jimmy Page, and when I, started growing up, it was Dimebag Darrell and Edward Van Halen, so going out to a few concerts and seeing other people do it, you just get the fever to do it, and it's all downhill from there.
And hopefully you find some guys that are like-minded to go ahead with you.
Yeah, definitely. That's it.
Is there any influences that the band relies on when you're writing?
I don't know if we really rely on our influences. We just kind of do what we think sounds right. But, we're definitely affected by, everything that we've, picked up throughout the years.
The reason I asked that, Jeremy, is because I think you guys have a really unique sound. Like, a lot of bands wear their influences on their sleeve, but I think you guys really have developed something that's yours. It's Candlelight Red, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we try to do. We just try to just write naturally, and we know that we all have a bunch of different influences, so we don't ever want to say, well, this band is, you know, Taproot meets Deftones with a taste of Rage Against the Machine. Like, I know there's some bands who do that and say, well, our band is definitely this, and we want to keep it as this. And that's not really how we operate. We throw out guitar riffs and ideas and melodies, and, you know, and we just do what sounds good and feels good to us.
Excellent. I think the million-dollar question that I want to ask you is, how do you guys capitalize on this exposure right now? Like, what do you do next?
We're just trying to get out there and play as much as possible. That's what we're doing with the Sable Aving Tour. We're trying to go to cities where we've never been seen before and get more and more people's faces and so they know what's going on and know about the band. The internet is great, but nothing beats, you know, being able to see the band live and make that personal connection.
Definitely. And where would you like people to go, other than all these shows that they should go to find your information?
Okay, they can find us online just about everywhere. If you search Candlelight Red, it's candlelightred.com, facebook.com/candlelightred. We did all our websites like that, so everything's /candlelightred. Twitter, MySpace, Reverb Nation, iTunes.
Excellent. Well, I need to encourage everyone, if they haven't heard Closer yet, to look it up. Great song by Candlelight Red. Going on tour with Saving Abel. I've heard nothing but good things about your live show, and we need to thank Jeremy Edge for doing this. Thanks for getting on the phone with us today.
Well, thank you guys for having us.